Welcome to Students to Business Day in Belgium. Thank you for coming. Please introduce yourself for me.
My name is Frederik van den Broeke. I'm Solution Manager and Alliance Manager for the Microsoft solutions within Atos Origin Belux. So basically that means that I create solutions for our customers. I manage a team which is basically the Microsoft Competence Center. And we have about 25 Microsoft specialists within the field of development and about 80, 90 people within the field of IT professional.
Yeah. Can I ask you what kind of solutions that your company specializes in?
We have several specializations. So Atos Origin has three major divisions basically. That's Atos Consulting, which is the business consulting side. For customers. Then we have our system integration division, which is all about design, development, implementing products and these kind of things. And then we have managed operations, which is the infrastructure side, so the server network infrastructure, desktop deployment stuff. So that's basically an overview of what Atos Origin does. And with Microsoft, of course, we do all things within system integration and managed operations. So that goes from design and development using Visual Studio.net. Actually, we use Visual Studio Team system throughout the world. So we are all countries are working together on a single platform based on Visual Studio Team system. We also implement solutions based on SharePoint. That's all about workflows, so business processes being implemented as workflows in SharePoint, and that leveraging that actually to the user in some sort of user experience, if you want. Then that's all about Silverlight, Windows Presentation Foundation, the search, of course, and all about collaboration and these kind of things that are added on top of business logic and data. So that's the system integration side of things. And in the managed operations side of things, we support Exchange, for instance, for mailing, OCS for collaboration and these kind of things. Often it's connected to SharePoint, of course, and Office at the client side for the business user. And then next to Exchange, we also have Vista. And Windows 7 now, which is very important, and about where we are launching also on a very important event this year.
That's a lot. You guys are really strong supporters of Microsoft, which is fantastic.
Yeah, definitely.
We really appreciate that. Do you ever have a problem finding particular people for all of that software? I mean, does it one person can do everything, or do you have a hard time finding certain skills?
A hard time finding skills. Well, we're one of the fortunate ones where business is going very well thanks to our customers. They have confidence in Atos Origin, and we have our good customer relationships through which we eventually now have a lot of business. So we are looking. That's one of the reasons why we are here on the Student to Business Days, looking for both new. Or what we call young potentials, young graduates, and then also experienced people. And today, well, the reason why we are here is just for that, and we are also attending other recruitment events to be able to do that. Is it hard? Yeah.
What part's hard? Like, which skill is harder to find? Is it Visual Studio, or is it SharePoint skills, or like, is there any particular technology or competency area that is higher in demand at your organization?
Well, we are looking for experienced people also, and it's especially in that area where it's difficult. Especially in the current economic climate, people don't change a lot often between companies, and that's normal. I understand that. That's why we also look at young potentials, which we evidently train and support in their career to grow as fast as possible, basically, in those technologies we support. So that's basically how we resolve the issue of trying to complete our teams, where we basically always need different levels of experience and different types of experience or competencies, like analysis, also project management, next to technical skills, of course.
So on the technical skills, when you're thinking to hire a student, which technical skills should they come fully equipped with?
If we're talking about students, I'm more looking into the motivation of those people. I prefer people who are very motivated, and who are willing to go for being specialists in those areas. Often those people make it to an architect level at some point, and then that makes it interesting for them, evidently also for us, because those opportunities are there within Atos Origin, like I already mentioned, and we have the possibilities to provide that for them. So the basic skills, if they have development skills, object orientation, these kind of things, basically we can support them with all kinds of training to help them in their career and further develop their technical skills.
Is it more appealing if a student already has a Microsoft certification or a Microsoft competency?
Of course. I mean, certifications are very important for the person himself. I mean, it's very nice on a resume, on a CV, but it's also important to the company because it proves our competency towards Microsoft, and it's based on those proofs, those evidence, basically, that we have a good partnership with Microsoft. So certification is definitely important, and then there's one more thing actually. Atos Origin is one of the 15 partners worldwide who employs masters in SharePoint. So that's also an interesting one, because that's an advanced, if you want, certification in specific technology.
So how many certified professionals should an organization like yours have?
Should or has?
Should.
Should, yeah.
Honestly, I don't know all the competency levels at Microsoft for the partner program, but maybe you can tell us, for a company like yours, what's the number of certified professionals you need to have on hand to be a gold partner, for example?
To be gold partner, it's personally, hold on, let me gather my thoughts there. Personally, well, I'm responsible for the Microsoft team, so I would say as much as possible. That's one thing. Of course, we need to find a balance, but I'm still going for as much as possible, simply because it proves the competency of each individual, not only the company.
And the percentage of your team that would be certified?
Well, of the 120 professionals we have in Atos Origin Belgium, both IT professional and development competencies, there are about 43 people certified, which means they have done 1, 2, 3 exams per certification. So that's basically the ratio today, but we're still continuing that effort, especially towards SharePoint, .NET and these kind of things. Also Windows 7 is a very important one, and Exchange. So those are basically investment domains for Atos Origin today.
So if a student had a Windows 7 certification, they would be valuable to your ratio?
They would be valuable for the ratio, but I wouldn't put it in figures. I prefer the human touch. So basically, it's still important for that person and for Atos Origin as a company to prove our experience to our customers and towards Microsoft.
So it could help. It could potentially be.
But it definitely helps. Yeah, for sure.
So when you're looking at new students, what is another quality other than their technical expertise that would gravitate you towards one candidate versus another?
What I'm also already mentioned is especially the motivation. I always say the logo of Atos Origin is a small fish, and we all start off, myself also started off as a small fish, and if you are willing to become a shark in the IT world, then you're at the right place at Atos Origin. That's what I always say, and that's also how I manage my team. I try to motivate them as much as possible, and the intent, the initiatives, I hope, also come from the team itself, because that's how you leverage basically a team towards a higher level. So I'm always looking at how they are motivated to go in that area of IT, which is challenging in itself. So.
What could student do to demonstrate their motivation to you as an employer?
Well, typically I noticed that in interviews and what they did during their student days. For instance, one person came by here who is leading a student council, so that's typically someone who takes leadership. And if he's also equally motivated in the areas of technology and combining probably those two, leading and technology, that's the ideal profile, which we are happy to support in their career. Yeah.
Excellent, excellent, excellent. Now, if you had to give advice to a professor or a faculty person or an institution as to what they might do differently to better prepare their students for the real world of work, what advice would you give?
That's a good question, but a difficult one because it's already 15 years ago I graduated. So I don't know what the real world is today in universities and high schools and these kind of things. My advice, I really have to think there.
Is there anything missing in the student candidate that they might be able to, in the average student candidate, that they might be able to influence?
Yeah. Well, what a company would find great is that they can be immediately work in projects, but that's basically impossible because you only learn that in the business world, yeah, throughout the years. So you can't expect a student to have 5 years of experience, of course, already. So what we're looking at is, or what could help is, for instance, how projects are the different roles in projects, and have some sort of experience in there. I know analysis was part of my education, for instance, and the technical parts were also very important as I started off as a software engineer. But next to that, you could add design, which is becoming more and more important, and I'm thinking of Silverlight and these kind of things. And often students are picking that up themselves already. But also like how to manage requirements. If you receive requirements from a customer, so interacting with the customer, how do you implement that? And that's often an experience you learn over years, but could help in colleges, for instance, that they start having those exercises also. Yeah.
That's really, really good information, actually, and very helpful for our students who will be looking for jobs this coming year and interviewing and things we can pass on to other faculty. So I'm going to ask you maybe one more question. What's unique about your organization? What makes it, if a student had to choose between working for your company or working for magical company X, why would they choose yours?
So many things. Just one. Then I would say the Olympic Games. Atos Origin is the IT provider for the Olympic Games. So, for instance, London, we are doing the IT in cooperation with other companies, but it's under management of Atos Origin. And that's a very important contract, which has been going on for years already. And the next contracts for London, for Russia, and these kind of things are already signed also. So if someone from my team wants to go work in an Olympic team, there's the opportunity.
Fantastic. That's awesome. There's always a nugget hidden in there. So thank you for finding it for me. Excellent. Thanks for your time. We really appreciate you being here.
Thank you for the opportunity. Thank you.
It's been a pleasure. Good interview. Thanks.
Thank you very much.